Hello folks, this is the Great Scott here, and welcome once again to one of my virtual volunteer segments. And I've got a great virtual volunteer guest for you today. He is an accomplished actor who has appeared in Cristiano Brothers films such as Me and You, Us Forever, and Unidentified. You can see him in the first, 30 seconds of Avatar, I think it is? Yeah, first 30 seconds of Avatar. And he's got a long list of voiceover credits to his name as well. The one and only Mr. Michael Blain-Rosgay. How are you doing today, Michael Blain?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Also, I must tell you that he is our very first volunteer to be joining us via Zoom rather than Skype. So hopefully we won't have any of the same glitches that we had to get to this point in the past. I'll explain a little bit later. We had a little bit of trouble. You'll notice if you follow my Facebook page that we didn't do any virtual volunteers last week. Michael was supposed to be last Friday, but man, some of the stuff I had to go through to get to this point is unreal. Anyway,
what did happen?
What did happen?
After all.
Well, it turns out basically we had you on the computer, but you couldn't see me. And it's kind of hard to do a magic trick with you if you can't see me. You'll see what I mean once we start the trick. It turns out, I honestly thought, I went to Best Buy, and of course Best Buy is not accepting any in-store repairs because they're only accepting online orders right now. So I ended up, of all places, and I was supposed to go to my parents' house to help my dad cut the grass, only to find out his riding lawnmower wasn't working. So here I am, maintaining social distance from my parents in my parents' backyard, with my computer plugged into the side of their house, with a remote guy telling me the entire time, if this is a hardware problem, we can't fix it. It turns out it wasn't a hardware problem. It turns out when my computer went to update my camera, it hit an error, and that was the reason why my camera was not working. But the update is now all set, so now the camera is working again. Now, some of you might have seen my fifth volunteer segment, which I did with Pastor Dan Walker from the Bethel Baptist Church in Framingham, Massachusetts. And we did a trick that was kind of pre-planned because I mailed him something that was a prediction, if you will, for that particular trick. Well, I did something similar with Michael Blain. Michael Blain, I sent you something in the mail. Do you have that package, sir?
Right there.
Okay. Now, in the past, when I've done these in the past, yes, I put instructions on that saying not to open till we do the trick. But in the past, what I've done is the prediction has actually been in the envelope, and to an extent that's going to happen, but this is a little different. Michael, I'd like you to actually open that package now, if you would, please.
Okay, give me 1 sec.
Okay, and I think you will find something in that package that is very familiar, or two things that are very familiar to you.
All right. "30 minutes later, when I open the package." All right, let's see. What do we have here? Me, You, Us Forever. Movie I was in with Cristiano Brothers. Second movie I was in with Cristiano Brothers. Actually, this is the first, Unidentified.
Exactly.
And then
we have a self-addressed stamped envelope, so you can send those back to me.
Oh, I'm keeping them. I'm keeping them. I don't have enough of them on stock.
Really?
Joking.
Okay. So you did Unidentified first, and you did Me and You, Us Forever second. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's correct.
All right. Now, I don't want to, put you on the spot or anything with Dave and Rich, because Dave directed one and Rich directed the other. But of those two, Do you have a favorite?
Since they're twins?
No.
No.
Not of the brothers. Not of the brothers. I meant of the two movies. I'm sorry. That was my fault.
Of the movie.
Of the two movies. Yeah.
That's a tough one. Two very different characters. No, I don't have a favorite. I like them both.
Okay. Well, then in that case, sir, this isn't a reflection of one of them being your favorite, but we only need one of the movies for this trick. I want you to decide which movie we're using.
All right. Well, there you go. Let's use... Let's use Me, You, Us Forever.
Okay. What I'd like you to do is quickly open up that DVD case and make sure there's nothing in there but the DVD.
Nothing in here but the DVD. You want me to check behind it?
No, it's okay. Oh, if you want to check behind it, you can, but you don't have to.
Just to be thorough.
All right, very nice.
Empty case, DVD.
All right. Okay. Now, is there any way, I don't know if you have a table in front of you. If you can't, it's perfectly fine. But if you want to, is there any way for you to stand that DVD case up in the line of sight of the camera?
Let me do this. Move that back there.
Yeah, like open it up. You know how you open up a book to stand up? Open up the DVD case and have it stand up that way.
Then you can't see me, or can you?
Well, we can see the edge of it there, so we know it's in full view, but that's okay.
Okay.
All right. Now, here's where things are going to get interesting. One thing that magicians like to do a lot of is card tricks, and you are going to do a card trick with me today, but I prefer to use Uno cards for my card tricks for a couple reasons. One is because when you are doing magic shows in churches for the Lord, you always get that one congregant somewhere who thinks that playing cards should be nowhere near the church. You know what I mean? And secondly, I do a lot of kids' parties, and I have never met a 5-year-old who knew the difference between a club, a diamond, a heart, and a spade. Okay?
Okay.
So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you this right off the bat. This is a deck that I've used before, but not with you. You can see that this is not a full Uno deck. It has only numbers in here. I did not include the wild cards, the draw fours, skips, or anything like that. It's all just numbers. But Michael, can you confirm for me that those are all different?
Yes, they are all different.
Okay. Now, one thing that I tell people a lot is that you pick a card a little different when you're doing a trick virtually than when you're doing a trick in person, obviously. Because clearly, Michael, you cannot reach through the camera and pick a card. So here's how you pick a card when we're doing the trick virtually. I'm going to go like this. And as I go like that, you tell me where to stop.
Stop.
Right there. Now, we always pick the card that is face down, because there's less chance that I saw that one. Okay? Like, for example, I can see the blue 0 right here. Okay? I'm going to show you only this card, and I'm going to look away so that I'm not looking at any of the screens. Can you see that card, Michael?
I can see it.
Okay? I will now show it to the camera so that the people watching this will be in on it as well. There we are. It is right set up, by the way, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I will now put it back in the deck like so. And I will give them a shuffle just like this. There we are, without looking. Okay. So that was a free choice, and you can confirm once again that the cards are all different. Okay, now Michael, I mailed you these, because we were supposed to do this on last Friday, I mailed you these a good while ago, right? And they've been in your possession the whole time, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, but you just examined this DVD case, and there was nothing in there except the DVD. So how surprised would you be, Michael, if the card that you just picked randomly were inside that DVD case?
I'd be pretty surprised.
Okay, well, do me a favor. Open up the DVD case. And a stunned shock is on your face, because that really would have been interesting, right? If the card had been
super interesting.
But the funny thing is, Michael, with magicians, you have to listen to our wording very carefully. My wording was, would you be surprised if your card were inside the DVD case? Do me a favor and take out the dust cover thing. In other words, the cover of the movie.
Yep. Give me a sec.
Okay.
You gotta be kidding me. That's the card.
That is the card that you picked.
Okay. How did you do it?
I thought I did that very well.
I thought you did a nice comeback, Scott.
Thank you.
That
well, here's the interesting
amazing.
thing, though. Here's the interesting thing, though. I'm sure that some people would want to know, okay, you had him pick one of the DVDs. Okay, well then clearly you had a way to make him pick the red 3, and the red 3 is in both of the DVD cases. Do me a favor, check out Unidentified's case.
I was just thinking the same thing. Nothing in the case but the dust cover.
And that is not the card you picked.
That is not the card I picked.
There you go.
I'm going to be all night going, how did he do that? How did he do that? That's pretty amazing.
Well, thank you.
Because I almost picked Unidentified.
Really? Well, hey.
And that's pretty crazy.
Well,
that's pretty crazy. And I picked the
you.
card.
That's kind of a DVD trick of my own design. So you can understand, I know you said you don't have a lot of those in stock, but I think you can understand why I want those particular ones back. So if you could drop those in email to me, that would be great.
Yes, I totally get it.
Yeah, those were not easy to make, folks.
Totally get it.
Some of my little craftsmanship there. But anyway. So.
Scott, that's amazing.
Well,
nicely done.
Thank you. Well, hey, it was worth the wait. And the funny thing is, the whole problem with my camera was not the only problem that I had. Listen to this. For those of you that don't know, I'm kind of running a one-man operation here that I put together when this pandemic hit, and started doing these virtual volunteers as a way to keep my, my practice as a professional magician up and running, because I've only done 5 virtual magic shows since March because of this whole pandemic that's hit. And I've done like magic shows on Zoom, magic shows on Skype, and so I started doing these virtual volunteers so that I would be doing some magic at least every week. You know what I mean? To try to keep, you want to keep up your craft, and so
absolutely.
And so I actually built from. I didn't have a tripod that could hold a iPhone. I'm recording this on my iPhone, and the funny thing is that I found a way to take a selfie stick and duct tape it to a tripod, and that's what I've been using for all of my virtual volunteer segments. Of course, I've also been using that tripod to play virtual Quirkle with my parents over Zoom. And last night we were playing virtual Quirkle over Zoom, and I go to move the thing and I break the selfie stick.
No.
Yes, I break the selfie stick. After getting the camera fixed, I break the selfie stick. So it's 7:45 at night, and I'm like, okay, Best Buy isn't allowing people in there. Wait a minute. Target is close by. I hope they're still open. I drive to Target. They're open, thankfully. I walk all around wearing a mask. I walk all around their electronics thing, cannot find a thing. And I finally say to the guy, okay, either you guys don't have tripods for iPhones or selfie sticks, or I'm just not looking hard enough. He looks all over the place, and at the last minute he finds one, and I buy it. I come home fully ready to duct tape it to my tripod, exactly like I did the old one. And then I open it up, and it's a 2-piece one that can screw together, and I realized the screw is the right size for my tripod. So by breaking my selfie stick last night, I actually upgraded my iPhone tripod.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyway, so you're not only the first
iPhone tripod.
Yeah, but when it broke, I was scrambling, trying to duct tape it back together, making sure that the camera could be steady, and I'm like, well, that's a risk. It could still fall. And I'm like, it's 7:45. I'm going to Target and praying to God they have something, and it turns out they did. So first we had the glitch with the camera, and then I was honestly saying at one point, Lord, are you trying to tell me Michael Blain-Rosgay is not supposed to be on this? Because I just, yeah.
All the stuff that went on, the camera, and then the lawnmower didn't work, and then oh my God, it was a bad tech week.
It was a bad tech week, but hey, this is a new week, and you're here, and we did this whole thing. So one thing that I always give people an option, my guests to do, is I always like to let my very small viewing public, mind you, know a little bit about them, because if you're watching this far, then you definitely are a fan of my page. So, I mentioned during the brief introduction that you were in one of the biggest blockbusters, Avatar, for a couple seconds rather.
Yes.
How did that? You are one of the agents at the very beginning of the movie, correct?
Yes. Yeah. If you have the director's cut, you can see it as Cameron shot it. They cut it down for the theatrical release. They cut out about 10 minutes. Oh. I don't know why they did that. I thought it was pretty cool. So it opens up on old Earth, right? Right. Nasty, dirty, and then they contrast that with Pandora.
Right.
So I'm in that beginning scene. In the theatrical version, it was all done in flashback. From Jake Sully's flashback as he comes off the ship. He kind of tells me out there.
Right.
So seconds, I was in New Zealand for 3 weeks.
Wow.
It was glorious. It was, and I said they shot it all on location in New Zealand. It was really, really nice.
Mm-hmm. So you got anything in the pipeline that we can be on the lookout for? Anything you might? Because I know you're also a voiceover actor.
Not right now. I don't have anything in the pipeline. No, I've relocated somewhat. I reside in Washington State now, and I do business down in California. Mm-hmm. So things have slowed down just a bit on that level.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that's true for everybody.
Set up.
Yeah, I mean, I've mentioned this in other things, and I mentioned this when Sean Justice was on here. We've had you kind of attached and unattached and then reattached again to a couple projects that Sean and I have tried to get off the ground. And it's nobody's fault. You want to prepare for rain. If you want to have actors lined up in case something gets the green light. And of course, firsthand that financing these things is always the hardest thing, because everybody and their cousin is trying to make a movie these days, or trying to make a series these days, especially with the streaming services. But when this pandemic hit, I kind of had the same reaction I did every single time we have hit a roadblock. I'm like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. Because we were 2 weeks away from launching the Kickstarter. But in hindsight, I've said this before on here, I'm happy we didn't launch the Kickstarter, because when you launch a Kickstarter, you only have 60 days, and if it doesn't work, you can't do it again.
Exactly.
So if we had launched it,
right,
we wouldn't have it as an option in the future. So, and I think that, you know, I hear people talking all the time about when this is going to go back to normal, and speculation about when things are going to go back to normal, or how fast it's going to go back to normal. And it's very hard to live in the world of the unknown, because we really just don't know. We really just don't know when things are going to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah. But the truth is, it's kind of hard to be a little bit, you know, oh man, when am I going to get my shot, when the entire industry has been shut down.
And it has. It has. I talked to a producer friend of mine, and he's working outside of Hollywood right now. Got stuck with the pandemic, and he said everything is shut down. Anything in production got shut down.
Right.
So the new avatars that they're filming, everything got shut down. I don't know if they kept the actors in New Zealand or sent them back home or what. Mm-hmm. It's a topsy-turvy world all of a sudden.
Yeah, it is. And to be honest with you, I think that's one of the reasons why this isn't going to last, because all those people who had all those productions, all those people who have businesses, they are definitely not going to stay closed forever. Eventually, I really believe, I think if all the protests that we've seen are evidence of anything, eventually we're just going to be people who are going to be saying, you know what, you could die of just about anything any day. I'm gonna do this. You know what I mean? And it's just, I think that.
I saw a great press conference. Go look at it. It's Accelerate is the name of the hospital. They're in Bakersfield. 2 epidemiologists talking about you don't quarantine the healthy. You quarantine the sick. And he goes, if you quarantine the healthy, our immune system drops. We're supposed to get out there and rub elbows and get exposed to this. And I don't want to catch it, for sure. But maybe a small version of it, you know? Maybe. And now they've got the antibody tests out here. I got
which actually
came over to visit my girlfriend.
Yeah. Which actually just are starting here in Boston right now. Anyway, we ended up talking about the virus a little bit more than I planned on there. Sorry about that. But anyway,
I think everybody's sick of it. Yep.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are. But I'll continue to do segments like this, and I'm sure I think that all of the people who are involved in show business and stuff have found creative ways to use their social media to keep things going and stuff. But I mean,
yes, they have.
There is absolutely no way around it. You cannot shoot a scripted TV show or a feature film and maintain social distancing. It just cannot be done. And eventually, people are going to want to see those again. And you know, I actually heard that movie theaters are actually not opening until July, or at least a lot of the major ones are, because it's not.
They're in Boston, right?
Yeah, because it's not worth it to them, because all the movie studios have pushed back all their blockbusters till at least July, so they're not going to open up. They're not going to open up. They're not going to open up the theater and have nobody show up because they've got nothing new. So. Exactly.
Well, anyway. July, here there's a 4-stage re-entry, and I think the theaters are going to open mid-June here in Idaho, or at least in Blain County.
Yeah. So what? Oh, Blain County. Blain County. That's not
Isn't
your county,
that funny?
is it? Yeah, it is. Yeah. So what stage are you guys in right now?
We're just getting into stage 1. That'll start at the end of the month. So we're in a stage. They've opened up construction and landscaping business on a limited. You know, everybody's got their little stations for sanitizing and hand washing, and they're, as best they can, they're practicing distance. Yeah. It can be a little difficult too if you need 2 men in a rig, but that's it. And then things slowly start opening up for 2 weeks. It's a 2-week cycle.
Yeah, well, I saw a press conference this morning from the lady who is one of the White House experts, saying that her models are saying that the country will look different by Memorial Day, and if that's the case, then hey, I can live with that. I just want to, it has been March 14th was the last time I was in front of a live audience that was not on Zoom, and so and to be honest with you, getting out my little black book of actors like yourself and having you guys on and do magic tricks has been great. But there's just something about being in front of that audience that is kind of irreplaceable. I'm still doing singing. I'm still doing singing telegrams because we wear masks and stuff. But anyway, we ended up talking about a lot of stuff here that I didn't plan on. I'm sorry I didn't ask you more about your background and such. We kind of got a little sidetracked there. Tends to happen to the best of us.
Fine.
Well, thank you. Well, Michael
No
Blain,
problem at all.
Michael Blain, I want to thank you very much for being my virtual volunteer here today. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. God bless, and have a great day.